There was a time when I was really down in depression. Back in 2020, this was the first time I ever went through real depression. Every day was dark, every day felt terrible, felt bad. I was having the worst thoughts you could possibly have. I don't want to get into them, but if you could imagine the worst thoughts you could have, that's what I was having at that time. And there was a certain gathering I had to go to, and I was around someone that wasn't necessarily my type of person, and we were chatting, whatever, and I was trying to play up on a level where I was trying to fit in. I was acting in a way that wasn't me, and bear in mind my head was west as well, not in the right place. So I was obviously trying to cling on to some sort of connection, some sort of love, some sort of good emotion, let's say. And we were chatting, whatever. I was acting in a different version of myself, loads of alcohol. And a person said to me who I looked up to, respected, and at that point the relationship was tarnished somewhat, but I was still young. And he said to me, "You're mentally weak." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You're physically strong, but you're mentally weak." And I was like, what do you mean? And this was hurting me at the time. I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "How would you know?" Whatever, man. Because I was only like 16, 17 at the time. And he was like, "Yeah, you're mentally weak and all this," and almost poking at me at that time. And I was in the worst mental place I've ever been in at that point in time. Ever. And it was the first time I've been through something like that. So I'm in this position mentally where I'm fucked. And I got someone that I respected heavily poking at me, poking at me, poking at me. Now, this hurt me to a different degree. And in my head, I thought, fuck this person forever. In my head. That's what I thought at that time. And even to this day, I feel a little bit of resentment and pain from that memory, even just bringing it up right now. And the weird thing is with life, is you're always going to have to see these same people. You're always going to have to be around these same people again in the future, and you're going to have to interact with them, see what they're saying, dependent on if they're in your family or friend groups or friend of friends, whatever. You're going to have to see these people again. And I want to speak about forgiveness because this was something that hurt me deeply. And you got to learn to forgive. But obviously, the cliche saying, don't forget, but also be very smart with your judgment of people. Now, what I will say is with a person like this, I'm never going to give them the same level of respect in how I speak to them, the same level of connection with how I speak to them, the same level of honesty of how I speak to them, because they didn't deserve that. No, they didn't deserve that. And especially if someone fucking pokes at you when you're down, and especially even when you're up, that same person pokes at you as well. It's one of these things where you gotta kind of just take it for what it is, and when you're around them, just control it to some degree. Here's what I found is you have to have this mindset of, okay, I don't necessarily want to be around this person, but for certain reasons you have to. Now be cordial, be respectful, be kind, of course, but just withdraw yourself a little bit. Withdraw yourself. Don't give these people the control. And this is what I've started doing, not giving this person the level of control that I used to, because I used to really care about how they viewed me, how they perceived me, and it would break me mentally. It would break me mentally because they have control of you, know? So they can pick you up and they can fuck you over, bro. They can do anything to you at that point in time, especially if it's not with the right intentions. You can get hurt in that situation, and I still feel this deep level of hurt. But long story short, I have to see that person from time and time again in my life. So, for example, this week I'm gonna have to see that person. Now, okay, it is what it is. I've seen them here or there, whatever. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. How do you deal with forgiveness? And I just found it's gonna be the balanced approach. Just don't hold too much resentment in regards to in your heart, in regards to not speaking to that person, in regards to leaving them and leaving them and leaving them, because if they're in a certain place in your life and are connected to certain things, it's going to be really rude, it's going to come off disrespectful, and it's not going to come off in the right way. Now, how do you act? Be cordial, be respectful, and be reserved to a degree. Be your true self, but tone it down a bit. Ask them more questions. Let them reveal themselves a bit more. And don't make yourself the priority in these situations. And this is what I found is when you withdraw yourself from people like this, even when you're around them, you withdraw yourself a bit mentally. You focus on the people around you actually respect your opinion, actually like you. And to that person, you keep it fairly, I'd say, kind of brief to a degree. It makes the situation a lot better, and it makes you handle the situation better. It's hard though. It is hard, forgiveness, man. It's very tough. I've struggled with forgiveness a long time in my life, and I've just found myself now coming to the point where I just understand is that base level, that calmness, that respect for yourself, that